It's your boy Heck to the Tech to get that check. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody watching. You know what I mean? Salute to y'all. Um, so so I wanna talk about some important subject that I never even knew about. An important subject. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so so check it out. Last year, around this time, my 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 cousin John was in Rikers Island. My cousin John was in Rikers Island. He got out. For y'all that don't know, you know what I mean. He got out on Halloween. He got out on Halloween. You know what I'm saying. He called me the next day, November 1st, and we met up, was hanging out, chilling. Um, a day or two later, he passed away. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say how. I'm not gonna say the details, but he was very young, very young. Um, he was a young boy. You know what I'm saying? He was telling me he was locked up with Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow. From Chef G's gang. And so, you know what I mean? I'm just in the mode, this type of mode that you know what I mean, like, a year later it's hitting me, you know what I mean? It's hitting me a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, at first it was hitting me real bad, real bad. You know, throughout the months started getting better, you know what I mean? But it's never easy when you lose somebody. You know what I mean? And especially when you you just hung out with you was just with the person. You just spoken with the person, and then the day after you realize they gone. That's not easy, you know what I'm saying? That's traumatizing, and I've been traumatized with that for a while. But God bless my cousin's soul, John. You know what I'm saying? He has visited me in my dreams. You know what I'm saying? As well as my cousin Doovy. God bless his soul too. And everybody else, my whole family. You know what I'm saying? Let's pass. You know what I'm saying? God bless them all. Facts. So today I wanted to talk about, cause my cousin was a king, right? My cousin John was a king. And I remember when he first told me he was a king. I was like, what? It's okay. And he became a king. He became a king because he wanted to help the old people in jail. You know what I mean? He became a king in Rikers Island because he wanted to help the older heads in jail. You know what I'm saying? Because they weren't getting respected or whatever. So I was like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? So I came across this. I came across this recently. I never knew about this. Came across this article about this guy named King Kato, Kato, King Kato, something like that. You know what I mean? Let me see. Let me check it out. King Kato. Yeah, King Kato. We do right here. King Kato. You know what I'm saying? He from Chicago. Really big Latin king, famous Latin king. You know what I mean? So, so what happened with King Kato was that so he was a big street dude. You know what I mean? In Chicago, people came in to check with him. People like Fat Joe. Um, he was DMX's best friend. You know what I'm saying? DMX's best friend. He was in a few of Fat Joe's videos. You know what I'm saying? Um, Kincaid was running them Chicago streets. So there was word, or it was real, allegedly, that he stole $150,000 worth of cocaine from from some type of cartel or something like that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'll read the article in a minute, but this is what I gathered from it. So King Kato, or Kato. So he stole $150,000 worth of cocaine or whatever it was from the cartel or from whatever. So there was these two twins called the Florence brothers. These two twins were Mexican. They were Mexican, and he was cool with them because they were all from Chicago, allegedly or whatever. So allegedly, the Florence twins found out that King Kato robbed 150,000 worth coke from them. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. So they put a hit on him. So there was this dude. The Florence brothers caught some dude, some black dude who knew the barber or where he went to go get his haircut. And he told the barber when he's there to let him know. So one day, King Kato was there watching NBA or whatever on the TV while he's getting a haircut. And they approached him and blah, 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 blah. They gave it to him. They even shot the barber in the process. They even shot another man. They killed King Kato. They killed him. Because allegedly, he stole $150,000 worth of. Now, this guy was best friends with DMX. You know what I'm saying? He was in Fat Joe videos. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was the Florence brothers put a hit on him. They were down with El Chapo. So King Kato had a girl, her name was Valerie or something like that. Valerie. And once King Kato died, she started hanging out with one of the Florence brothers, one of the two Mexican cats that were twins. And they went to Mexico. They went to go chill with El Chapo. They were chilling with in one of El Chapo's cribs. You know what I'm saying? And somebody said that this could have been a setup. Could have been a setup. Maybe from King Kato's girl, Valerie. Could have been a setup. I mean, that's what they were saying. But yeah. So eventually King you know, police started getting involved, detectives, DTs, FBI's, you know, started investigating the case. You know what I mean? The Florence brothers started to testify. Now, the mastermind of all this, you know, the mastermind of all this, was this black dude who went on trial and beat the case. You know what I'm saying? Beat the case. But the Florence brothers decided to testify. And they got the two black brothers locked up. The shooter and the one that got the shooter. Right? So the Florence brothers is out right now. Working for the cops right now. You know what I mean? Ain't that messed up? Facts. I never even knew this story. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And King Kato was a well-respected Latin king. You know what I'm saying? Well-respected Latin king. Rest in peace to King Kato. Now, this is him right here. What the fudge? What's going on here? That's him right there, King Kato. You know what I'm saying? Facts. So, let me just read. Rudy Rangel Jr. liked to keep his hair short. So Rangel, a leader of the Latin Kings, one of Chicago's biggest street gangs, had been going several times a month to nationwide cuts. A barbershop operating out of a trailer near Roosevelt and Sacramento on the west side of Chicago. On June 4, 2003, late in the evening, the gang leader known as Kato was in the barber chair, his back to the open door. Game 1 of the NBA Finals between the San Antonio Spurs and New Jersey Nets on the TV. Outside, a 21-year-old recently paroled ex-con named Donnell Squeaky Simmons walked through the alley to the shop, a red, white, and blue Nets cap on his head and a pistol at his waist. Two men were sitting on the stairs to the barbershop, waiting to get in when Simmons walked up. "Let me get by," Simmons told him. So, this is the dude right here. This is Squeaky. Donnell Squeaky. Facts. In a few moments, Hangel, 30, lay dying because he just got black. Now, 15 years later, 11 members of the Four Corner Hustlers. All right, now let me explain the Four Corner Hustlers. All right, Four Corner Hustlers was a clique. King Kato grew up in the same projects as the Four Corner Hustlers. So, now, 15 years later, 11 members of the Four Corner Hustlers, including labor bro-man Span, leader of the gang, await prosecution next year in one of the biggest gang trials ever in Chicago. Rangel killing and 5 other murders are at the heart of the sweeping racketeering conspiracy case set to be heard in federal court in September 2019. Though Simmons and 2 others went to prison in Hangel's death, some details of high-profile killing, rapper DMX later recorded a tribute to Hangel called Ayo Kato. I never even knew. I never even heard that song. Facts. It never came out. Oh, okay, that's why. Authorities said the shooting resulted from an attempted jewelry robbery. They said that Kato liked to wear more jewelry than rappers. But interviews and thousands of pages of records from the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Chicago Police Department, the Cook County State's Attorney Office, and the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office, reviewed by the Chicago Sun-Times, suggests another possible motive, that the murder was contracted after Hell stole 150 kilos of cocaine based on those records. This is the story of the killing of Rudy Kato Rangel Jr. Born on Thanksgiving Day, 1972, Rangel grew up in Le Creole Courts on the southwest side, but ended up traveling in lofty circles in 2 worlds, crime and rap music. As a kid, he was friends with Pedro Flore and Margarita Flore, twin brothers from Little Village who grew up to be the biggest drug traffickers in the city before they got caught and agreed to help the Justice Department build the case that led to the arrest of Mexico drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. At 17, Hangel pleaded guilty to possession of controlled substance and got a year's probation. In 1993, he was convicted of attempted murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and armed violence, and got sentenced to 7 years in prison. Hangel married someone from the neighborhood, Valerie Gaitam, daughter of a Chicago cop. Daughter of a Chicago cop? How you gonna marry a daughter's cop? Anyway, he had a tattoo on his chest for her. What did it say? A cop's daughter? No disrespect. I'm just saying. Who would get with a cop's daughter, B? Facts. Destined forever, my Queen Valerie. Soon after Rangel killing, though, Gaitan took up with Margarito Flores. Before going into federal protective custody, they spent time at Guman Cartel Fortress in Mexico, which she wrote about in the 2017 book Cartel Wives. These are the two twin Flores, the Florenzo brothers. Rangel had friends and aspirations in the music business, rubbing elbows with hip hop heavyweights including DMX and Fat Joe, who in the radio interview last August called him a beautiful dude. A friend told police Rangel had two performers he was in negotiations with DreamWorks to record. Rangel, who traveled with a bodyguard, liked flashy jewelry. In the spring of 2003, he drove to Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp at Surmarken Canal to meet a John, a Latin king, who told him he'd sell him a stolen diamond-laden Frank Miller watch worth $125,000 worth for $25,000. Rangel bought it. Martí Numero 26, asthmatic and a member of the unknown Vice Lords, told authorities John told him about the selling the watch to Rangel and then he'd seen him wearing that, a diamond bracelet and a platinum necklace with a pendant. Nunnery figured the jewelry was worth at least $240K. In May 2003, Nunnery got in touch with a guy named Marcus Ware, who hung around the barber shop at Roosevelt in Sacramento and had 2 drug convictions and 1 on the weapons charge. The next time he saw Rangel at the barber shop, Nunnery told Ware to call him. He wanted to talk about the music business. Ware said Nunnery told him he'd pay him $1,500 to $2,000. He figured Nunnery was going to rob him, but not just for the jewelry. In trial testimony, Ware said Nunnery told him he was intending to kill Rangel because Nunnery was going to get 190,000 and 15 kilos of cocaine. Nunnery reached out to Span, faked the leader of the brutal 4 corner hustlers, which claimed large swathes of West Side. In June 1997 at 18, Span was charged with murder and aggravated discharge of a firearm, but found not guilty, though his 2 co-defendants were convicted and each got 60 years prison sentences. The following year, Span was charged with aggravated battery to a peace officer. Unlawful use of a weapon by a felon and being a felon in possession of a firearm, he got probation. Even while at the Cook County Jail, Span, who has used a wheelchair since being shot more than 15 years ago, has found himself in trouble. He's been reprimanded for threatening correctional officers, attacking one with his wheelchair, and fashioning a shiv out of pens and medical tape, for which he received minimal punishment. Wow, this dude on the wheel shit still going buck wild. Now, that's what you call a real motherfucker right there. Max. The indictment last September targeted the 4 corner hustlers, including 6 murders. Span was linked to all 6. Span, whose attorney Ty Urban didn't return messages seeking comment, already he's facing as many as 70 years in prison, having pleaded guilty 3 months before the indictment to being the felon in possession of a weapon, obstruction of justice involving witnesses, tampering, and cocaine possession with intent to distribute. Nunnery had known Span just a few months and weeks before Hangel's killing. He told authorities, he told Span that I had a lick up for somebody that had a lot of jewelry. Span already was planning to rob Hangel, according to Nunnery. When I described the chain that the guy had, he was like, yeah, I know who that is. He was just trying to rob him, Nunnery told the prosecutor. Nunnery said his job was to locate Hangel, and Span's was to get someone to rob him. Span knew Simmons and told him he'd pay him up to $30,000 for the job, according to Nunnery. Simmons told detectives that in May 2003, Span told them about the talker Hangel having stolen 150 kilos of cocaine and hired them to kill Hangel. Bro, man told Donnell about a lick that a Puerto Rican had done for 150 kilos of cocaine. A detective wrote after interviewing Simmons, Bro man said a Cuban mother or Mexican wanted dude taken care of. Broman asked Donnell to kill the dude for $10,000 to $30,000. Late that May, where Nunnery and Span picked up Simmons at his West Side home, according to a prosecutor's report, they rode around in the car and Broman was just talking about hitting this lick or committing the robbery, and Martise kept adding that we're going to pay you, we got you. The prosecutor wrote after an interview with Simmons. Nunnery didn't want to just wait to hear from where, and Rangel had showed up at the barbershop, so he started looking for Hangel himself around, possibly for Clybourne near a recording studio Hangel had. A few days after Nunnery, Ware and Span had picked up Simmons. Simmons later told the prosecutor he was picked up at home again, where Span and the third man were driving home, Simmons said, and Span called Nunnery, and they headed to Roosevelt, California. Donnell states as they rode in the car, he saw Martise on the sidewalk shaking the dude's hand. Donnell states that Bro Man said that's him right there, pointed to the dude on the sidewalk shaking Martise's hand. Donnell states that the dude was Kato, now known as Rudy Arnett, and this dude as the guy Broman was telling Donnell to shoot at, the prosecutors wrote. Donnell states that Broman told Donnell that he wanted Donnell to pop him. Donnell states that popping meant to kill him, and him was the dude they called Kato. Simmons had been paroled just months before in a deal with prosecutors. He pleaded guilty to aggravated discharge of a firearm, was sentenced to 4 years in prison in May 2002, had paroled from Vandalia Correctional Center in February 26, 2003. On June 4, 2003, Nunnery was at work at a cell phone store when he got the call from Ware he'd been watching for, Hangel at the barbershop. He told authorities Span picked him up, and they called Simmons to let him know they were coming to get him. Simmons was walking to the liquor store at the Madison and Keeler when he saw Nunnery driving a red Ford Taurus with Span in the back and another man in the front. He got into Span. Outside the barbershop, they saw Hangel blue SUV, drove a block west and turned, parked just north of the valley, according to what Nunnery Simmons told authorities. Donnell states that Bro Man handled the gun to Donnell. Donnell states that as Bro Man handled the gun to him, Bro Man told Donnell, don't miss, come back. We'll be right back here waiting for you. Man shortly, don't miss him, Nunnery said. No, he was like, man, shorty, don't miss him, Nunnery said. Simmons took the gun and got out. Yo, this is mad long, son. Mad long. Rangel was headed somewhere else that day when he called a friend from prison who told him he was at a Nationwide for a haircut. Rangel decided to join them. He was there only a few minutes when Simmons, who didn't know about Rangel's 23-year-old bodyguard or his 5-shot revolver, came out the alley. About a minute after Simmons got out the car, Span, Nunnery, and the third man heard gunshots. So did two Cook County Sheriff officers on patrol in an unmarked squad car at Roosevelt and Sacramento, who reported the gunfire to Chicago police. Hangel fell, and Simmons said he kept firing, also hitting the barber in the right foot and the bodyguard in his left hand. So Hangel had a bodyguard. You can't even have bodyguards these days. Bodyguard. You heard? Kept firing, also in the bodyguard and body. Donnell said no words in exchange. He said he just began firing the pistol at dude. A detective wrote after questioning Simmons. Simmons ran with the bodyguard in pursuit, and the sheriff's office is now less than a block away. The bodyguard told the detectives he shot at Simmons but missed, then dumped his gun in a bucket of soapy water at a car wash next to the barbershop before going back to Hangel. A sheriff's officer chased but lost Simmons. As he ran, Simmons' net cap fell off. It landed on the sidewalk near Hangel's SUV. Inside the trailer, Hangel was face down, blood pooling around him, 2 shots to the back of his neck, and left stippling residue indicating he'd been shot up close. He also was hit in his left shoulder, the left side of his chest, his left abdomen, and left hip. According to the Cook County Medical Examiner's officer, which noted Hangel still had on his pricey watch and bracelet, detectives found the necklace and pendant on the stairs to the barbershop. So there's all the... You go online and see all this. You know what I mean? It's crazy. You know what I mean? As soon as the men in the car waiting outside the barbershop heard gunfire, Broman began shouting, "Get me out of this car," Detective wrote after interviewing Nunnery. Nunnery said he carried Span to the porch of a nearby home, saw a car heading north on Whipple, recognized the driver, and flagged him down. He said the man drove them 3 blocks to a Hollywood video at Roosevelt and Spalding, where Nunnery called his girlfriend who picked them up, dropped them nearby before they spanned to Arlington and Karlov. Nunnery said Span called that night saying he had heard from Simmons and was wondering what happened inside the barbershop. Nunnery told him people were telling him that a guy was dead. What the heck? So, days later, Ware said he heard on the street that Kato had ripped some Mexicans off for some dope and that they paid someone to kill him. Ware states that he knew that the way Kato was killed, that it was not just a robbery, a detective wrote. Span already was under scrutiny by Chicago Police Department, and the informant friendly with Span wrote a right for the investigators targeting Span and his crew that investigation. Dubbed Operation 5K for 5th Avenue in Karlov, where Span lived, led to dozens of murder convictions. Detectives investigating Hanel's death learned of an investigative report used by the police department, organized crime division, a recorded conversation with Nunnery in which he implicated himself in the shooting. The transcripts included one between Nunnery and the informant 7 weeks after the shooting. So you have it. I'm not going to keep reading all this shit. You know what I mean? Look, that's the car and shit. You know what I mean? That's the car and shit. You know what I mean? There's just too much to read. I put the link on the thing, man. So y'all get the point, man. You know what I'm saying? I've spoken too much. You know what I'm saying? Facts. They call me Frankenstein and shit. You know what I mean? They call me Frankenstein. Does that look like me? Kind of do look like me, son. know what I'm saying? That's what I know this don't look like me. This don't look like me, you know what I'm saying? Don't look like me. I drink some water. This don't look like me, you know what I'm saying? This don't look like me at all. This definitely look like me, son. This my twin right here, son. Facts. Go drink your water. Alright, y'all. Hope you enjoyed tonight's whatever you may call it. It's your boy Hack to the Detective to get that check. I never made a video this long, I don't think. I might have, but anyway, hope you enjoyed it. It's a real it's a real important video. Like, it's really interesting. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's really interesting, son. It's a really interesting video. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I never heard of King Kato before. Once I heard about it, I was like, wow, that is crazy. That's some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? You know? Rest in peace, King Kato. Excuse me. And I can't believe his girlfriend got with one of those Mexican Florence brothers. You think it was his girl that set him up? Yo, I'm out of here, yo. What y'all think? It's your boy Hack to the Tech to get that check. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and I'm out, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Peace. Happy Halloween. You know what I mean? Stay clean. Be safe. Drink your waters. You know what I'm saying? Don't drive too fast out there. You know what I mean? Facts. Peace.